Hello, my name is Amaka from Mind of Makus. Nice to see you all again. It's been a few weeks, I know. It's lovely to be back. I just thought today I'll just talk about one of the things that we've kind of written a blog on recently, which is how your finances affect your self-care and why you should care about the money. Because if you're not caring about your money, it can be very difficult to care about yourself. Money is what helps us achieve our dreams. It is a tool, it is something that gives us options, it's something that gives us freedom. It is something that sometimes affects our confidence and the way we carry ourselves in the world, the way we see ourselves in the world. So money is important. I'm not going to tell you that it is not. It is very important and you should care about money. I was just going to talk about how it can impact you if you do not care, and why you should care, and maybe some ways that you can start to care if it's something that you've never really looked at. So how can money impact you, or how can lack of financial literacy impact you? Most of the things that we see as self-care activities, our hobbies, our relaxation, our holiday, taking time off work, spending time meditating, some of those things are free to do. But then the opportunity cost of that is that if you're taking a spa day, you're going to pay for it, isn't it? And if you're not going to pay for it, and maybe you're getting everything off the land, there's something you're not doing so that you can get that day. So in terms of your economics, it does affect your finances at a point. If you're saying that you want to take time off and maybe you've not made plans for that time off, it can literally affect the food on your table, can affect your ability to do things for yourself, like pay your house rent and pay your school fees, assuming you spent all your money just enjoying life and going on holidays. Planning for your finances is a necessity. And have you ever been in a situation where you're in debt, and how that can give you so much anxiety, and how that can take away your peace, and how that can even take away the peace of your family? If you've ever been in a situation where you're in debt and you've had to sell your property, or you've had to ask somebody to sell their property to bail you out, or have to wonder where your next meal is coming from, it is not a very good feeling. So these are some of the ways that it can affect you. It can cause you depression, can cause you anxiety. In some people, it can even lead to psychosis because of the stress mentally. It can cause you not to be able to meet up to your medical commitments to yourself. It can cause you not to be able to meet up to your educational commitment to yourself. It can affect your personal development. It can affect your relationships. You know how they say that there's no love where there's no money? It can affect your friendships too, because if you want to spend quality time with your friends, you're going to have to be kind of transport yourself there, walk there, maybe eat a meal together or do activities together. It can affect your relationship with your friends. Imagine if you've been borrowing money from your friends just because you are a bad manager of your own money. Those friendships break down over time, and you don't really want to be in that situation. Money affects so many things. It gives you access to places where you never thought you would even be able to access. It gives you opportunities to gain education, to gain knowledge, open your mind, interact with people that you ordinarily will not meet under normal circumstances in your day-to-day life. So yeah, money is good. And to start to care for your money, there are so many people that do financial education. One of the more common ones is Money Africa. On YouTube, there's Nisha who talks about money. She's an accountant. There's so many people. Patricia Bright talks about money as well, an accountant turned influencer. Tommy Balogun of Green Club, also talks about money and investment. So many. You just need to Google the one near you and the one that is relevant to your currency and start to learn. There are also a lot of free resources. Clever Girl Finance is amazing with that. Lots of free resources, worksheets. She does it live every week. Check her out. She's on YouTube. She's on Instagram. So many people that you can learn from. But my goal here is to just talk to you about, why it is important. Let's look at things like start from things like looking at your expenses. In the last few weeks, in the last few months, look at where your money has gone. Look at what you spend your money on. I'm a big believer in your energy, physical energy, mental energy, your time, which is a very limited resource, and your money are a good reflection of what your values are. So when I talk about values as well, some of the ways that you can find out what your values are or where your values are now is to look at your bank balance, look at your transactions. So now we're talking about finances. Take a look at your transactions. See where that money is going. Is it where you want your money to go, or do you have a lot of direct debits and things that you did not plan for, and the money is just going? Look at it really, really well, down to the last couple cents, pound. Look at it really critically, not so that you can do anything, but just so that you're more aware. That awareness is a start. You know where your money is going, and then start to look at, okay, what can I do better? Is there something I can cut? Is there something I need to add? Is there some way that I need to educate myself better on how to manage things better? For instance, if you notice that every Tuesday and Thursday you're ordering takeout costing you maybe 40 quid every week, so let's say 80 pounds every week you're spending on takeout, maybe you should look at cheaper takeout places. Look at how you can maybe share that bill with someone. Look at how maybe you can cut up that bill totally and do packed lunches, or packed dinners, or have something already ready for you to eat, or maybe buy food in bulk rather than buying it as needed when you're hungry and you're emotionally attached to what you're ordering online. There are many options. For some people it is that going out on a Friday night and spending money buying new clothes to wear out every Friday. Maybe you'll benefit from renting clothes instead of buying new clothes. Cheaper, much more financially savvy, and better for the environment. So there are so many ways to deal with things, but you can't deal with it until you have actually seen it. So that's why I advise looking at the expenses first. Then you can start to make some changes. There are budgeting tools available on so many online websites that you can easily download. You can make yours as well. I use the good old Excel sheet and literally just write down everything that I spend my money on and categorize it into bigger chunks. So you say expensive. What are the expenses? Car expenses, children expenses, personal expenses, household expenses. Break them down like that. That's what I do, because I find that it's more sustainable. I can access it anywhere. It's easy to update. I don't need any special app or anything like that. But if you need an app, or if you want an app, there are a few apps that are available that you can download. I'll put some in the link below from some websites that are quite popular with financial education, so that you can benefit from that. Budgeting is really, really important. When you do budget, make some time in the budget for yourself. And when I say yourself, I don't just mean like spending money on drinks or on clothes. That's good. If you need clothes, buy them, why not? But yourself, I mean like your gym subscription. I mean like your medical bills. Put money aside so that you don't get into a situation where there is an emergency and you're liquidating every single thing you have. Let it be in your budget. Put that money aside. Don't spend it if it's not needed. Put money aside for yourself to have a better quality of life. So some people say that 30% of your income should go to your bills, and maybe 20% should go to your charity, tithe, whatever, another 30% saving and investment, blah blah. Yes, you can do that, but when you're doing your bills and expenses, include yourself in your bills and expenses, okay? Saving and investment, if you have debt, I would say be quite mindful about saving and investing, because some debt have high interest. Doesn't make sense to be saving when you have high interest debt that is escalating your expenses and your bills every month. My advice is to prioritize paying off your debt. Do your savings, have an emergency fund, put some money aside for emergencies, but prioritize paying off your debt, because once you pay off your debt, you don't have any interest accruing somewhere. You can save more, you can invest better. Now, the thing is that you should also look into why you've accumulated debt. Some people are good at accumulating and paying off, but the truth is that the second it is paid off, they're accumulating again. It is a cycle. You want to be able to break that cycle. So look into what is making you accrue debt. Look into what are you using your credit card for, what are you taking loans for, what are you borrowing money for. You need to look into the why. If it's one-off things, maybe you bought a car, maybe you had some very high medical bills, um, maybe you did some shopping, luxury shopping, or even everyday shopping, because I've met people who do everyday shopping up to the point of 20,000 in debt, and then it's crippling, and they're running away from debtors that are knocking on the door. You need to be mindful. What are you getting in debt for? See if you can terminate debt totally from your life. Debt is not necessary. I know that some people believe that because the world runs on credit, you need credit. Yes, you don't need credit, but you don't need to be in debt. Lots of people pay off their credit cards every month. It doesn't roll over. You can do that too if it's that you want to build credit. I don't believe that you need to build credit. If you have money, people that have money spend money. If you're running a business and you need to take a bank loan, that's a different thing. But if you are getting in debt every month and you're struggling with paying it off, you need to be mindful of what that debt is about. Where is it coming from? Do you need to increase your income to be able to meet up with your needs, or do you need to reduce your expenses? So yeah, if you've managed to pay off debt or you don't have any debt, start to look into saving and investment. Saving is good. It's good to just have that money that is there for you, not just for a rainy day, but also for a day of enjoyment. People save for different things. You can save for holidays, you can save for items that you want, you can save for an upgrade in your house, you can save for an upgrade in yourself. Lots of people save for the Brazilian butt lift and breast lift and all that kind of stuff, and cosmetic surgeries. Saving is fantastic. It gives you that bulk money somewhere for a purpose. Your saving has to have a purpose, is where I'm going. You don't just save just for saving sake. So that is where you now start to say, okay, saving short term for a purpose, saving long term for a purpose. For instance, you're saving for college, you're saving for a house, you're saving for a car. Some of these things are like long-term savings. And if you have children too, you do long-term savings for them. That is really important, because saving is something that will compound over time, and there are all sorts of saving resources and tools that banks have that sometimes they can invest your money for you in stocks and shares over time. Imagine what that would be in 20 years when your kid is going off to uni. Think about things like that. No matter how small it is, put money aside. Keep putting money aside over the years. And investing, you need good advice. There are low risk, high risk, medium risk investments. Good financial advisors will give you quite detailed guidance on how to proceed. It is very tricky, especially for some of us who have immigrated to other parts of the world where we're not quite conversant with their financial system. So just be mindful, and just be mindful that investing comes with risk. You can lose all your money. There's no good investment that guarantees you double your money in a very short time. They're usually Ponzi schemes. Be careful. You're trying to make up for lost time and you end up losing everything that you have. It's not worth it. So with finances, to be able to do all these things will give you a lot of peace of mind in the future. It will make sure that you're in a more secure place. You're in a position to actually allow your dreams to come true. You're in a position to actually work in purpose, because then you get out of desperation and you don't just take any opportunity that comes to you just because you are hungry. You're now in a position to make choices, and I think that is such a beautiful thing, to be in a position where you can make choices. So I'll advise you today that you should take your finances serious. You should not abdicate your financial responsibility to anybody who is not a professional. This includes your family and your friends. They should not be responsible for managing your finances. People who are in partnerships are actually at higher risk of financial abuse, because there's such a high level of trust, a high level of emotional manipulation in some toxic relationships. People say things like, if you can't trust me with your money, then you don't really trust me. Babe, guy, that is not true. Take responsibility for your finances. Know where the money is going. And I know that some of you might have questions about, oh, what if I don't work? What finances do I need to take responsibility for? And that's a good question. But you think about it. Every single day you spend something, you have access to some money. You need to be a good steward of whatever it is that comes to your hand, whatever you have that comes to your hand. Household expenses, household money, money for the kids, money for groceries, whatever it is, start from there, because one day you have much more to manage and it will only make you better. Being a stay-at-home mom or dad does not mean that you cannot be financially responsible. You can be that person who is the one that gets educated and manages the investments for your family. You can be that person that gets educated and becomes a better steward of what your expenses are in the household. Whatever you're doing, wherever position you are, take financial responsibility. Make sure that you yourself have some savings in your name. Make sure that you yourself have some investment in your name. Don't be a victim of financial abuse. A lot of women especially say, I don't have a head for finances. Who told you you don't have a head for finances? Maybe some teacher told you when you were in primary school. You were 8 years old. You're now a full-grown adult in your 20s, in your 30s, responsible for children, responsible for a family. You can learn. Did you hear me? I said you can learn. So get on to it. Look on YouTube. Start to learn. What is expense tracking? What is budgeting? How do I invest? What are low risk investments? What are medium risk investments? What are high risk investments? What is the difference? Start to learn. That's what I'm here to tell you today. Start to pay attention. Start to learn. I hope you've learned something today. I hope I've been useful today. I've been away for a while. I'm glad to be back. Yeah. I'm hoping that I can continue to put out more videos. This is the first one in the month of April. It's just to tie up March, where we were talking about self-care and finances. If you have any topics that you want me to cover, anything you want me to talk about, remember that I'm not an authority on finances. I'm only sharing my experience. This channel is only an education channel based on what I know, what I'm learning, and what I hope that you can learn from me. And I'm looking forward to learning from you too. If you have anything you want us to talk about and discuss, do let me know. Send me an email, mindofmakus@gmail.com, or just put a comment below, or call out Instagram or Facebook. We're on all these platforms. Same name is Mind of Makus. And do subscribe. Share with your friends. Share with your family. Help us to grow. That will be very, very kind. That is the only thing you can do for me really now. Thank you very much and have a lovely month ahead. Bye.